Time now to take a look at our R.J. Young honorary captains, Bill McGuire, Tom Inman joining us here on the stage as Mississippi State gets set to take on Ole Miss. Today's R.J. Young honorary captains brought to you by R.J. Young, serving the Golden Triangle's office needs, including equipment like copiers and printers, as well as document solutions to increase your office productivity. Scan, secure, share, copy, and print. They make your work flow. To learn how to streamline your paperwork, visit them online at rjyoung.com. Tommy Inman, Bill McGuire joining us. And Tommy Inman played 62-64. Bill McGuire 63-64 here at Mississippi State. You guys were involved in what Jack Crystal said was the coldest night of football he ever endured in his life, and that was the 1963 Liberty Bowl up in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Right.
And I know that was a big ball game. And Mr. McGuire, talk about that season. That was a great season you guys had, capped off by that Liberty Bowl win.
Well, that temperature may be equal tonight. I don't know, but it's not as windy. It was terribly windy up there in Philadelphia. It was probably about 25 degrees with about a 35-mile-an-hour wind. And the field was literally frozen. Coaches used to talk about the players tripping over the line. Well, they did. The line stuck up about a half an inch above the level of the ground.
They had to step over the line.
Yeah, you really had to step over the line. But, it was brutal. But, we won that game. These two guys you got up here, I blocked the punt, and he picked it up. Tommy picked it up and ran in for the touchdown, and that contributed to winning that Liberty Bowl.
That's what we did.
And you know what's amazing is that here we are years later, and these guys still have their own fan club that travels around with them. Are these family or groupies?
When you're old as us, you accumulate a lot of family.
That's good.
We paid them to come up here.
Okay, good. Well, they're doing a great job cheering you on, and Tommy, I know that that's been a while back, but I'm sure you vividly remember picking up that block punt that Bill got a hand on and running it in. Kind of take us back to then and kind of how the play happened. Tell me how that happened.
Well, Ken Donahue came up with a deal to block a punt.
Okay.
And he said if they see what we're doing or they recognize it, we're going to be in trouble because we took 9 players, put them all on one side of the ball.
Really? On one side?
on one side, on the left side, on the left defensive side, put 8 players over there. I was on the right side on end by myself. He said if they see that, they're going to run right at you.
Yeah, fake it.
And we had one guy back to receive the punt. And I was scared to death. I thought, man, here they come. But they didn't, and they didn't recognize what we were doing. Bill got through and blocked it. And, like you said, the field was frozen, and you slipped.
Okay.
And I thought, my God, if I get the ball, I'm going to fall down. But luckily I didn't. I didn't start sliding until I got in the end zone.
I didn't know I'd blocked it, actually, until I saw him in the end zone with it.
Were you the farthest rusher
on the edge?
outside,
on the edge,
okay.
yeah. He spoke about Coach Donahue. You ask about those seasons, the 63, 62 and 63, we had probably the best coaching staff in the country that year. We had, as he said, Coach Ken Donahue, and I'm sure you're familiar with that name.
Sure, absolutely.
He was our defensive coordinator and linebacker coach, great coach, most dedicated man to football ever was, wasn't he? And then we had Johnny Majors was our secondary coach.
How about that?
Bill Dooley was our offensive line coach. And Vic Spooner, who was our ends coach, was probably the best of the bunch, but he never went on to a head coaching job. But Inman and I'll verify that. He was one tough guy.
He was a great coach. I enjoy talking to him occasionally.
Yeah.
But you can't, and now he's over 80.
Is that right?
And he has a farm.
In Mississippi?
No, in Georgia. He's in Georgia
okay.
now. And the first time I called, I called Vic about 8:30, my time. That's 9:30 in Georgia.
And you're in Texas?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So I talked to his wife a while, and she said, well, Vic isn't in yet. Why don't you try to call later? And I'm thinking, well, it's 9:30. What is he doing? And I waited an hour and called back. He said, well, Tom, he's still not here. I said, why don't you have him call me when he gets home? And he finally called me. It was about 10 o'clock my time. And he had just gotten in now at that age, and he's working cattle and you know.
And that would have been 11 o'clock Eastern and 10 o'clock Central, so he had a long day. Hard worker.
And he does that every day.
How
Still
about
does.
that?
He came to a reunion of ours several years ago, and he still looked great.
Hadn't lost one hair on
No, he
his head.
hadn't.
And it's as black
That's
as,
really impressive.
and it's as black as it ever was.
Kind of like Coach Cheryl.
Yeah.
Still got the
got
color of his
great
hair. Yeah, absolutely.
I went into coaching after I left here, and Coach Spooner probably had as much impact on me as a coach as he did on me as a player. I respected him. At the time, we wanted to kill him.
Oh, yeah.
But he really made some pretty good chicken salad out of some guys. Yeah.
I want to kill Matt every now and then too, but we at the end of the day we get along okay.
Have
Talking
to work
with Bill McGuire and Tommy Inman, a guy you talk about, Mr. Inman, you talk about being in Houston, Texas right now. What are you guys doing? What's Bill McGuire and Tommy Inman been doing to get to this point?
Well, I'm retired. I play golf.
Well, that's
Walk
good.
around. I've had a heart transplant, so 5 years ago. Doing great.
You're looking great.
Feel great.
Looking great. That's awesome.
His hobby is surgeries. He's had, I think he's told me 16 surgeries.
I tell you what,
That's what his hobby does.
I've paid for several doctors' Mercedes.
Mr. McGuire, what about you?
Well, I play golf most days at NY and live in Florence, Alabama. I was coaching in the Mississippi Delta for 18 years.
Okay.
And I was a State Farm agent in Indianola for the last 14, and then I went into management with State Farm, and then ended up in Florence, Alabama.
Okay.
And it's a really great place to live. But still, before I agreed to move to take that job up there, I drove to Starkville and set my trip mile to see how far it was to Florence and Starkville before I would take that job.
How about that?
Well, that's great. Guys, we appreciate you joining us. Matt, they were having some great conversations off the air a moment ago walking up, and it's great to have you guys back on campus. And, of
Thank
course,
you very much.
as you know, welcome back at any time. Bill McGuire, Tommy Inman, our R.J. Young honorary captain.